Good day, welcome back, good evening, and this is the Student StarCraft AI tournament once more. We have got a certain game on our hands which has been recommended rather a lot, so I thought, well, let's cast it first and let's see what's going to happen. First off, both players have been recently updated, both Willbot and Simplicity. I'll show you over here. Simplicity received an update, wow, even, what's not really today, yesterday. And that reset Banana Brain, Crazier, Halpan, Lucas Moravec. Everyone's been working hard once more and doesn't really, oh, here is a Willy T. Where is it? Yes, Willy T. Everyone's been working hard and not even bothering with AIIDE. The deadline has been postponed to, I believe, the 5th. But you've got to check that out on Facebook because my memory is rubbish and I should have had my laptop along with me to be able to say that with any kind of confidence. So, Willbot is going for a pair of Marines in a mineral line, obviously fearing some kind of a 4-pool, and there is no 4-pool, there is a well, there is a small contingent of Lings and 2 remain behind to guard the spawning pool. That's always a good idea. And the Natural's already up and running, and with a bunker and a handful of Marines, this will be more than adequate. The Lings all suicide, and well, that was that really. That's quite a lot of SCVs for repair. There aren't all that many Zerglings. So, did this bunker get any hits? Yes, a couple, but not too much. And with 2 bunkers, I'm sure that this Zergling won't get anything done either. So, Sunken coming up, and an in-base hatchery. Lots of drones, always like to see that. About 14, 13 now. And Simplicity really has got a lot of money. And the supplies are there, so I can't really think... Oh, there we go. A couple of eggs now. And that, of course, gives Willbot the time to attack up to gas. We've seen, yes, the academy already here. And with 2 bunkers and a handful of Marines from 1 barracks, 2 barracks, is pretty solid as far as 1 base terrain goes. So let's see what is happening at this end of the map. We have got, oh, 2 kinds of tech buildings, no lair yet. And the drone number is equal to that of the SCVs, so I think for now that Terran has got the army advantage and Zerg has got the economical advantage. Of course, you can't let that go on for too long, because with these fire bats, and I'm sure there are going to be medics, that is quite a potent army, and with Stim, that is very hard to stop as a Zerg with just pure hatchery tech. But all kinds of buildings be constructed by Simplicity, and Simplicity droning like a... droning quite decently, not going to use any pejorative adjectives there. And here we go. We've got some Hydras, we've got 2 Hydra Dens, of course that's the most underrated build ever, because if you've got 2 Hydra Dens you can not make both Hydra upgrades at the same time. Another Sunken coming up, some Zerglings, oh dear, that's quite a potent Terran army, that, yeah, has been spotted now. So if you are going to hold anything like this off as a Zerg, you ought to have, oh dear, you ought to have Lurkers, or very good Neuter Micro, or a hell of a, oh, that's so lucky, because the Zerg army isn't there yet, it's just 12 supply, there is no 3rd yet, and although there are quite a number of Hydras, versus this kind of Terran power, I think you are going to need much, much more. And now there is even a siege tank coming up, and that's bound to be siege mode. So, yeah, that's something. And might warn you ahead of time, because my honourable... Oh dear, here we go. Oh, that's just the 1 scout marine. My girlfriend knocked herself out, so she'll have to knock very loudly at the door, and I'll have to run off for about 10 seconds to let her in, because it's very cold in Holland, and well, wouldn't want her to stand outside, and well, of course it's raining, it's the Netherlands, so it's pretty much par for the course. And here we go, lots and lots of drones. We got more drones than SCVs, but the natural for Terran is up now, and a 3rd started for Zerg. Zerg has got quite a nice army though, but oh, and now we've got a lair. That's good. I wonder though what all these units are going to do. There are a lot of Hydras and Zerglings, and the Terran army is quite formidable as well. It's much more powerful than the Zerg army at this point, but Wilbot is just taking it a little bit slow, and well, I like that. That's very economical in the building space department, and everything seems to be on the up and up, except that the army isn't moving out. So, workers being transferred to the third. Zerg still got the worker lead. 3 vs 2 base situations, pretty good. But by this time Zerg could have taken all the bases, as Terran's just not moving out, just cluttering the entire natural with a lot of units and building even more. Tech-wise, we've got a floating thingy, startboard, lots of depots being built along the edges, building placement, excellent. Oh dear, small incursion, a couple of Zerglings, but you can imagine this Terran army doing away easily with 100 Zerglings, so that's not really how it's going to be. And the starport's being sent on a scouting mission. There is, of course, the science facility, which makes me believe that Terran is trying to push out the +1 or the +2 armor and weapons for infantry. Oh, and here come the Hydras, finally firing a couple of shots. And that's a large Zerg army, and now it's on the move. It's going after this floating building, and once it is killed, the Zerg army falls still once more. Oh god, here comes the Terran army. That's quite a lot of units, and you can see that's almost 100 supply worth of bio. And these lurkers had better do an awful lot of work. The scans going off and some supporting units, but there is just way too much firepower, and there are quite some scans, but the third base is now started for Terran as well. More scans going off, but more lurkers in the back as well, so if this Terran army does take forever to advance, I think that the lurkers may hold it. And we've got some Hydras flanking. Oh dear, that's an armistice of some sort. Of course, there is a siege tank which may exact a little bit of a toll. And oh, the tanks were sieged over there. So for the price of a handful of units and a sunken, I think Zerg's doing very well here. The Terran army is marching back home. Probably ran out of scans or something, I don't really know. These comsat, oh, this one's pretty full, so could have. Oh, we've got ghosts. We've got ghosts. Is there a covert ops? Yes. Is there a nuclear silo? No. So that's perhaps something for the future. And Zerg, meanwhile, is making a lot of workers and a little bit of army, and well, nothing much else is happening. So that's really peculiar. And both of these players taking it exactly, well, they are on the same track, really. They're very slow, very meticulous. Oh, and here comes the Terran Death Ball again. At, I think, 85, it started moving out. And that's a lot of firepower. Some Lings make their way out of that zone, and the drone transfer is just going to be right on time just to move out. And now let's see how many scans we've got. We've got about 1, 2 here, 3 there, and of course 1 or 2, no, 2 or 3 there. So that's a lot of scans, and I think that these lurkers, they can do a lot of good. There are 2 of them and more on the high ground, so a couple of lurkers on the high ground. You'll need to use... Oh, and the Terran is going through this base over here, and they should have no problem with that. The lurkers, though, they round up quite a number of units. The Zerg is just moving, not even... Well, it's a good thing that the lurkers are killing everyone's... Oh dear, oh here, finally they turn and they take out the siege tank, but this base is all for it and snaps it right here. Terran has got about double the army supply and more than double the army value. It's a very formidable army and more bases. Perhaps a nuclear silo will be started here. So let's see and find out. Oh god. Zerg is going for the offensive and is now camping the high ground while the main Terran army is occupied over here. And some overlords are being sent out for things. For air cover and detection, so that's all very well. Terran is going to hit the natural, there is nothing much there, so that will probably fall. And the lurkers can make their way straight into the natural, because... I don't know. Overlord is going to die, probably. Yeah, there it goes. And the natural... Oh god, there is no scan, obviously. And the entire Terran army is going to get itself impaled on the 7 lurker. Oh god, this is the worst massacre since Wounded Knee. That's really... This is quite messy. But that was, as you can see, the end of the Terran army. Oh dear, and oh, I missed that. So, how did these units, did they walk they didn't just walk by, did they? So, units here, units there, nothing there yet. Large screen, and I think we can keep tabs on it. What's this? This is suspicious. That's very suspicious. And where did it come from? So... I hear units being loaded. And once the units are loaded, the overlords are sent to over here. Oh, no, don't do that. And then to the corner. Okay, so that's where they are. And similarly to Ice Labs and Crazio, they take the long route, and Simp, of course, they take the long route at the edge of the map, and they will attack this base through here. Meanwhile, we see this Terran army suicide itself again, Overlord getting killed, but that's the least of worries now. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And now here comes the Zerg drop, and Lurkers and Hydras, no Zerglings, but that's, oh, a couple of Zerglings, that's pretty good. And the Lurkers, they, well, some of them do burrow, but most of them do not. But with the natural being torn down, and that's pretty good. The tanks are retreating, they didn't really do much at the natural, and Zerg has got many more bases, no nuclear silo there. And meanwhile, Terran in a bit of a quandary, because that's a substantial amount of Lurkers just right there. And of course the natural's gone, the third's still up, so we've got 2 comsats. But with Lurkers at the front and Lurkers at the back, it's going to take a while for the energy to gather again. And meanwhile the main is a shambles, and Zerg is free to roam the map, the natural is in tatters. And these tanks, what are they going to do? Please hold your... oh god. Yeah. And so it goes. So, Lurkers, 4 Lurkers remain in the main, and in the natural we've got about 5. So, Simplicity not out of this yet, but the production, well, the production is not yet camped, so that's good. And lots of overlords all over the place, and Simplicity, what's it doing really? Because there are a lot of Lurkers everywhere. And units positioned all over the map, drone transfers going off left, right and center. Oh, and finally with a good scan, a couple of bio units and tanks. Wheelbot regains control of the main just in time. And the Zerglings now hit this base over here. So, Simplicity working very hard, or at least its author is, and the bot self too. And the overlords on top of the units, they are not loading them, but there is another squadron of overlords in the air. And this is quite a formidable army. So, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. This was really rather quick, and now the Terran army is being set on by a lot of Lurkers, and with the scan and the infantry, I'm sure that is going to be cleaned up, or is it? No, it just is, barely is not, and there is only 1 comsat left, so that's going to be an issue, because there are a lot of units over here, and with this drop, with a lot of units in the main, and that's really the first instance where I've seen a quite substantial drop. Oftentimes it's a handful of vultures, Goliaths, a couple of zealots on tanks, and this seems to be the new strategy of Simplicity, and it's quite effective. And now I must say that Wheelbot is not the best defending AI there is, but still it's quite impressive. And Simplicity is building a lot of units and a lot of Lurkers. That's really something. So this comsat will be out of commission relatively quickly. And here comes the drop, or not, or it's just going to be straight through the main door into victory. What's this? No, the Lurkers is still here. So the production's really coming off the ground, and well, Zerg is sort of not really as on point as it could be, but there is quite a lot of firepower. Oh, and here comes another drop. So that's... or at least the Overlords are coming. A little bit of oh, here's the drop. So a little bit of teething problems, but then you've got the Lurker and Hydra drop, and the army from the main is getting stuck on something. So that's the GG, and that's quite impressive by Simplicity. Love to see where that's going. And then, of course, we've got to talk about... have we got to talk about this yet? I've got a lot of games stacked up, really. As you can see, we've got most of the big hitters, but I'd like to save that for the last bit. Taking the time to have a look at the leaderboard, because right now we've got, although the other end is pretty interesting too, we've got Wombat, which isn't winning an awful lot of games. And then Parisi, Travis Shelton, Goliath, Opramo, Lucas Moravec. That's really losing a lot, but also being voted a lot versus lower ranked players. High ranked players. At the top we've got Crazio, Banana Brain, Locutus, and if you look at the ELO ratings, Locutus and Banana Brain are relatively evenly matched, and Crazio on top of them all, then Purple Wave, TCM Onbot, and the usual suspects, and we are basically waiting for the updated versions of the bots which are participating in the AWIDE, which is about to start next week. So for the time being, just let's hope for some good games, and if you see my email address in the top left, please recommend me a couple of games, because I haven't really got as much time as I used to watch the stream all day and keep up with developments, so there you go. And this tug of war thing is going on right long enough. 2 in-base hatches, and of course a natural hatch is much better. And you can see that Microwave is going to defend, but I think with the defender's advantage it will probably prevail. Question is, what's going to happen at the natural expansion? That's really the crux of this game. Eric Hammer has got this natural, Microwave hasn't. Upgrade-wise, I think both of them got speed, and the big question is what will happen next. And of course, if you're going to play one base, there is a small chance that it's going to be all about lair play, and Microwave has got way more workers than Eric Hammer's got. So Eric Hammer is banking on overrunning Microwave with the Lings, meanwhile going for a Spire, and the Spire for Microwave is late. It is very late, and that shows you that even though you've got the worker lead, you still can get in a lot of trouble, and also losing some mining time. That's, well, with 16 versus 9 workers now, that can be done, but it's going to be tricky. And these Lings, they're in a kind of a standoff, and this defensive position with the Sunkens on the inside, I like it very, very much. And that's not even going to be a Spire, that was an Evo Chamber. So, looks like Microwave's going to play defensive. And that's really where it's all coming to come from. Is this going to be the Spire then? This might be a Sunken or a Spore. And Eric Hammer's got the Spire ready, so that might mean at any time now a couple of muters. Worker-wise, Eric Hammer rebuilt 3. The advantage is still to Microwave, but Microwave Spire is so very late, and I wonder if that's going to be okay in the end, because Eric Hammer's slowly droning up again. Oh, rapidly droning up. That was a nice fat round of drones. And are there any muters? Let's have a glimpse at that. Eric Hammer's got the Spires, not making any muters. That's pretty weird. That Microwave is routing a lot of Zerglings, and Microwave's got the army advantage now, so that's going to be good. Will there be any upgrades from the Evo Chamber? No, there won't. And Microwave's Spire will be done. So Eric Hammer, despite having the eco advantage, oh, finally there comes one muter, but Microwave isn't all that far behind. So with the defenders, before this Overlord, this muter of Eric Hammers is there, I think that the muter of Microwave will be done as well. So Ling standoff in full progress, and this is going to be 1/10 Zerg versus Zerg. Here comes the muter, and it's going to kill some Zerglings, or at least do a substantial amount of damage. And the muta of Eric Hammers, or the two mutas, are occupied with the scouting overlord. And meanwhile, a lot of Zerglings take damage and are killed at the combined Zergling muta force of Microwave. So mutas now making their way over, and this train should be in full retreat very quickly. Of course, as a defensive position with 3 Sunkens, I think you can easily hold this. And Microwave is sticking its neck out way too far in the range of the first, not only the first, the range of the 3 Sunkens. And Eric Hammer is defending its base. So with 2 bases means 2 gas incomes. That's pretty well done. And now it's going to be a tight muta battle, and Microwave seems to have the upper hand. It's 3 versus 1 muta now. Oh, there is a spore as well, so that's pretty... I'd say Eric Hammer's pretty safe. Drone count is dead even now, and Microwave should look to get a natural up and running, and here comes the drone to do just that. Now, Eric Hammer's got 3 mutas. Worker-wise, in the lead now. Army-wise, a little bit behind, but as long as the muta count is okay, the mutas of Microwaves are pretty low. Have we got any upgrades? We've got ground armor started by Microwave. That's a surprise, especially in this situation where there are so many Sunkens. And Microwave needs to buy time with its army to hold on until the natural's up and running. And Eric Hammer is going to clip some lings. That's pretty good. And these muta skirmishers, let's see how many we've got. We've got 6 all. So these armies are pretty evenly balanced, and it's all about control and the micro, and the upgrades are... Oh, that's the ground armor as well. That's pretty wacky. And Eric Hammer, I feel, is getting a little bit more purchase from his mutas, because the mutas can kill some lings every once in a while. And once the mutas make their way out, a couple of shots on the overlords. If the overlords were going to go down, that would be a great boon to Eric Hammer. Of course, overlords are pretty expensive, and now Eric Hammer killing some lings as well. So Eric Hammer getting ahead in army supply, and now-ish the thingy-majiggy is done, the hatchery for Microwave. And Eric Hammer has got 1 less worker now. Defenses at the natural are much stronger, and here comes Eric Hammer to press the issue. Now, no upgrades. Oh, air armor started for Eric Hammer, but it's still a bit of a standoff. It's 10 versus 9 mutas. A spore could do wonders. A spore and a Sunken, and the nearest spore is over here, so that's going to take a while to... and now you see the battle is joined, and both players microing excellently. The mutas of Eric Hammer is getting pretty low, and if you are being pursued by a muta train like that, it's easy to lose 2 mutas for nothing. And Eric Hammer killing a Zergling, that's good. Eric Hammer starting a 3rd without gas. That's not ideal, but possibly can't be helped. And it's 8 versus 8 mutas and 21 versus 21 lings. It's dead even, and it's anyone's game. So, as a wise man once said, it all comes down to micro now. Worker-wise, both players dead even. The 3rd base for Eric Hammer will pay dividend, but without gas, it will not be the most effective. And there you see it. If you hover over the links a little bit too long, you are going to get clipped, and this cloud of 10 mutas can easily kill 1 damaged muta at a strike. And, oh, it's going to be so tense. Microwave microing its ass off, but it's just got another mutas. It's 8 versus 10, and Microwave's got enough damage mutas of its own, so that's... Eric Hammer, I feel, is just a little bit better at clipping a couple of lings, landing a couple of strikes on the scouting overlords, and meanwhile the 3rd is breathing, so that will be a boon to Eric Hammer. And Microwave now losing a couple of mutas every time. Eric Hammer mutable is growing. Oh, it lost a couple. That was brilliantly targeted from Microwave. You couldn't see it. Oh, Microwave's got a lot of damaged mutas as well, so this is going to be so tense. Microwave now 1 muta up, and they are so badly damaged. So badly damaged, and Eric Hammer just needs to land those hits because its mutas are better. And there we go. 2 badly damaged mutas in the front. Now Eric Hammer 8 versus 10, and Microwave suffering. Microwave is suffering. It's got 8 versus the 10 of Eric Hammers. And Eric Hammer now with the Muta swipes, killing a drone, killing a Zergling, just picking up those little advantages every time. I think Microwave will have to devise a better plan, and a couple of spores would come in handy. Now with Scourge, so perhaps the Scourge can tip the battle, but the Scourge aren't microed at all and they die needlessly. But Eric Hammer now with 12 versus 6 Mutas, and that must be the game, surely. The Lings came in for a bit of a hit on those Sunkens, but with the defending Lings and the Sunkens firepower, obviously nothing's going to come of that. But Eric Hammer's got 11 versus 4 Mutas, and Microwave can't win a single battle, can't land a couple of hits, but now all the Mutas of Microwave are dead, save one. And that one goes as well. So Eric Hammer now with all the bases in the world, worker count is going to explode. And if we look at the upgrades, we've got the +1 for both players, but for Microwave is not yet done, I believe, or is it? And +1 air weapons is being researched for Eric Hammer. Eric Hammer took a lot of hits on this spore and didn't finish it, so that was a bit sloppy. Then again, I think that Eric Hammer still got the advantage. 3 versus 4 Mutas. Eric Hammer's on the right side of that. And Eric Hammer's got this defense, so Eric Hammer can retreat and take a little bit of a breather. And that is so very tight, and that's exactly what he's going to do. So kill a couple of Zerglings. The spores, they dish out a couple of hits, nothing major. And Eric Hammer, what's it building? It's building a lot of infrastructure, a lot of Mutas, and you can see 2 Mutas versus 4 Mutas and the Zerglings and all of that. And Eric Hammer now has got 2 bases to populate. The worker transfer is already in progress, and it's already 1 base up, so this is not going to go well for Microwave at all. Although Microwave's got the bigger army, it's not going to get anything done here at the natural choke with 3 Sunkens and a Spore. And small peak, yes, worker-wise it's okay. 2 bases, 30 workers, you can do a lot of that. But Eric Hammer's just got way too much economy at this point, and is picking up the Overlords. And that's snowballing those small advantages, those small victories, they are snowballing into a pending and inevitable victory for Eric Hammer. Now a Spore for Microwave as well, but Microwave needs another base. Or perhaps needs a couple of blunders from Eric Hammer. And Eric Hammer is a little bit too keen on pursuing the Mutas and takes a couple of Spore balls. That's not good. And this Spore's still there, it's regenerating, and with the Scourge, if the Scourge were properly microed, it might be the chance Microwave needs, and Microwave needs to smuggle a drone out, because right now Eric Hammer's got 8 more workers, and it's got all the bases in the world, and without keeping the eye of the... Eric Hammer is making 15 drones at once and a Defiler mount, so setting up shop for the mid game, or for the late game I'd say, and there is no sign of a hive yet, so Microwave needs to get something done now, and otherwise it's not going to. But Eric Hammer's only got 5 Mutas, what's that about? That's really wacky. And you can't, and Microwave so sloppy with the Zerglings, but doing excellently in the air battle, and now it... Eric Hammer's Air Force is all but gone, that's really strange. And now Microwave, despite everything, has got more than double the army supply. Zerglings for Eric Hammer are falling at an alarming rate, although they've got quite good upgrades. These Mutas could now take out the Sunken, and if the natural falls, that would be a very dangerous situation indeed. And now the drones are all for it. And are there reinforcements coming? Yes, there will be, but Microwave's got 14 Mutas, and more Mutas are making their way to the front. And although the main is nearly mined out, and the natural, got a lot of use in it, Microwave's got the better Muta cloud, and Eric Hammer is throwing away Mutas one at a time, so Microwave might still win this, despite the map turning blue, and Eric Hammer has having a lot of workers mining. And, now some Scourge coming up, but the Mutas from Microwave are just too good, and the Spore in the main is going to fall as well, so if that Spire were going to fall, that would be a major problem for 2 Scourge. That was a large hit, but Eric Hammer's army can't come off the ground. It's on the ground, that's the problem really. And there are muters everywhere, so the muter count is 9-0. There are some Scourge, that's about it. And Microwave really ought not to kill the spawning pool, but ought to kill the Spire, and then it would be over. Eric Hammer is doing what it can. It's got a humongous amount of money. It could just overrun everything with Zerglings, but it's trying to claw its way back into the game by making Scourge. And I think at this point, with all the gas it's got, it could be rather effective at that. So, yes, there we go. But the main is taking a lot of damage. These muters are doing so much, and although the occasional muter for Microwave falls, Microwave's now got a 3rd up and running. I totally missed that and started another base over here. Eric Hammer, of course, can't take that. And now Eric Hammer's got 4 army supply. That's absolutely rubbish, and that's all in Scourge, and Eric Hammer is exploding on drones. And might just as well, because it's also been losing a lot of drones, but now the economy is set and it should back up its technology, because it's not going to be long in this game. And ooh, that was a lot of over damage on that 1 muter. But the muters for Microwave are petering out, and now it's so tight. Still, Eric Hammer could still have this. It's really hard to see, and now the muter count for Eric Hammer is bigger again. It's started producing muters instead of drones for a change, and there are still 2 spores up at the natural. The main is now relatively unhindered, and all the technology is still there. So Eric Hammer going to take revenge for the sack of the natural and the main, and the 3rd, of course, and is going to take down this base with some micro, and Microwave really ought not to send in too many forces to deal with that, because the forces coming in piecemeal, and it's 5 versus 10 muters, and Eric Hammer could just take this fight easily, but for some reason doesn't. And that reason is that there are a lot of hungry Zerglings in the natural, and there is only 1 muter overhead to try and stop that. The defenses at the main are gone, so once the natural's dead, there will be nothing there. Oh, and these muters, they cut off the retreat path of the Zerglings, and barely a Zergling will be left alive. And now Microwave of 4 bases, because this one got operational. Wow, that's pretty clever. Is trying to regain the advantage, but now Eric Hammer seems to have had enough and is tearing straight into the muters. The Scourge are not microed once again, and that's pretty dangerous. And this might be the decisive battle. Lots of spores over here. This one has regenerated more than half of its HP. That's pretty impressive. And Eric Hammer is going for this base once again. It wants to kill it and wants to make sure it's got the economic supremacy in this game. Natural is down, but the defenses are being re-established, and with drones killed from this base, Microwave's going to have a hard time. The natural's still up and running, the 3rd is still there, but without a 4th, it's basically the map versus 2 bases, and that's not going to go very well. Eric Hammer's got more than double the count of muters, and the upgrades are pretty good for Microwave. Look at that, +3 air, and Eric Hammer still lagging a little bit behind, but Eric Hammer has got a way superior air force. It's 4 versus 17 muters, and once this Overlord and Extractor have been taken to pieces, those muters will be... Oh, those muters are now exactly free to do whatever they want. And a Zergling attack on the natural of Microwave. Microwave holding strong, but there are a lot of Zerglings, and the work count is falling precipitously. There is 1 muter overhead. This badly damaged spore is going to fall now. The Scourge are not enough, and the muters are going right after the spores and the 1 remaining muter. Some Zerglings coming to help. 1 spore left, and that's about the end of that, because there is no more air force, and it's 15 muters versus... Oh, there is 1 somewhere. Oh, here it comes. That's going to be one hell of a job, fighting off 15 enemy muters by yourself, and no, that battle of Britain is definitely not won by Microwave. Microwave's got this base over here. For some reason the workers are gone, but the main is out, the natural is in tatters, and Eric Hammer is taking the game. Now building still more workers. Eric Hammer has lost so many workers, it's out of this world. But now all the defenses are gone. Here go the last two Sunkens and the last Spore. Oh, there is an Ultra Cannon, that's pretty cute. But as there is barely any income left for Microwave, this game is over. So I'm going to give it to Arakama, and that's about that, I would say. So that was Arakama beating Microwave by a donkey hair's tail's hair, and what have we got more? So the next game, I think, let's have a look at Lucas Moravec. Lucas Moravec's ELO rating is absolutely. I was very surprised to find it that low behind all these players, but let's see if we can see why that is, because Lucas Moravec is quite a decent bot and I must be missing something. So on this relatively small map destination, let's see how Lucas Moravec is going to fare versus Hao Pan. And Hao Pan, of course, being based off Iron Bot, is a formidable opponent, and Scouting Probe making its way right in. And there you go, killed. There you go, Scouting SCVs being let out. Forge Fast Expand, will the cannon be in time? Yes, it will, and the SCV will not get in. So Lucas with a strange build order, because lots of money is going for the Nexus, I believe. Timing a little bit off, but that couldn't be too bad. And Hao Pan is sitting back on one base, and I really find it strange why all the big Terrans are playing one base. The early aggression thing is going to be so important in these coming stages, and I fear that the Protoss may capitalize on that and just out macro them. And this Vulture doing pretty well versus the Zealot, so the Zealot should retreat. Should have a little bit of a longer memory span and say, well, last time I waited in and out of the firing range of the Vulture. Didn't go too well, so let's not do it again. A nice fat command center on the high ground, that's pretty well done. And army-wise, both players are pretty well balanced. Hao Pan has got one tank and one marine and two more things. Oh, probably the Vulture. And Lucas is losing a lot of Zealots to this one Vulture, so that's pretty strange. But not to be too disappointed. Here comes the natural of Hao Pan's, and Hao Pan, with 33 workers, is playing a rather solid game, not taking too many chances, just containing the enemy, and now the enemy of course can get out with Vultures, not being able to cope with goons, unless of course there are going to be mines, and the mines are not ready yet, so for the time being Protoss can take a little bit of map control back from Terran, even with a single goon, so the army production of Lucas Moravec is pretty limited. It's now 4. And, well, siege tanks are coming, and mines are being laid, and the goon micro is suboptimal, but oh dear, that may explain why Lucas is so low. The firing micro is just, something's off. The Dark Templar gets scanned immediately and killed. So Hao Pan right in the saddle, rolling up the siege tanks, and although there is one DT, that's pretty cool. There will be a scan sometime too. And where is the DT? It must have stepped on a mine somewhere. Yeah, well, there you go. And that is how you lose the game. Wasting too many Zealots and having some kind of firing and micro error in your goons. That's pretty hard on Lucas. Hao Pan doesn't take any prisoners and is just rolling over the natural, killing all the workers and then moving on with his main army straight into the main, killing all the workers there. So that's the GG. And another update I wanted to show you was Eckworth and middle school strats. Both of them running regular updates, and I thought, well, let's see how it goes, but Eckworth is getting pretty good, and middle school strats will have to work relatively hard to try and beat it. Of course, yeah, well, let's see. Handful of Zerglings, always a good idea. And without... Oh, there is a bunker, so the Zerglings get sort of absorbed. And the next couple as well. And now we're getting more Zerglings. So middle school strats needs some work in the strategy department. And Eckworth is just going to sit back behind its bunker with its one barracks. A couple of Marines die occasionally, that's pretty wasteful, but with now 2 barracks it's going to be okay, I feel. Oh, and middle school strat is transitioning out of the Zergling rush. Lots of workers, 14 on one base, and lots of money as well. Another hatch coming up, and is this going to be... No, of course there isn't any Zergling speed. That's a lot of hatches, and will be a lot of Zerglings accordingly. But Eckworth has got this hybrid bio-army with Marines and Firebats, and if I'm not very much mistaken, Stim is done, range is done, +1 done is prepping. So, although... Oh no, there isn't a single bio unit going to die in Morpher Tone because this army is just too strong. And Stim Firebats with medics versus unupgraded Zerglings. It's a foregone conclusion that the Zerglings will be the one who are going to suffer. Oh, and there's... Oh, and still this one Firebat finally dies. That was just too cocky, but in the end, the Marines take over, and these Firebats have things well under control. Oh, the drones! And Eckworth dismantles middle school strats. Perhaps that was not too wise of a selection, but there you go. And I wanted to show Prism Cactus versus Gomboc, because Gomboc is amazing, and Prism Cactus and the other cacti have gotten updated as well, so let's see what they are going to do. Prism Cactus starting out with the pylon, no surprises there, and Gom starting out with the natural, and that's more surprising than it seems. Usually it likes to take the first base right to the other end of the map, and doing the natural first is pretty weird. But there we go. So gateways coming up, gateways, pylons, and natural, and this is surely going to be a cyber core. Yes, there we go. Defending the natural, and the Lings of Gom are searching. They are searching for the enemy, and once they've found it, they will start moving. And the third is nearly up, and the third is done. The fourth has already been started, and now the Zerglings run straight by into the main and attack. That was pretty ballsy. But as the Kodos army was occupied elsewhere, it was pretty effective, and they almost managed to kill one goon. Third started for Prism Cactus. Prism Cactus got 4 gateways, and upgrade-wise has got goon range and nothing else. More gateways coming. So heavy gateway play versus the map in Zerg units. And this probe is attacking the extractor, which will take a while, but is going to fall eventually. Oh, the Zealot retreating, that's pretty good. Where is it retreating to? There is this sort of sick bay at the natural nexus, and the micro of these goons is pretty accurate, so these goons are able to kill off a lot of Zerg units without suffering too many losses, and with only minor body damage and some shield damage they have reached the middle of the map, so that's pretty good. And Gom, what can it do? Gom is not going to be able to plant this base. Prism Cactus got a lot of money and is building more production buildings because of that. Okay, one moment please. Okay, so sorry about that. That was the girlfriend, which I already warned you about, which, well, she locked herself out, so I had to let her back in. And I couldn't say, well, sorry, love, I'm recording a video, so wait outside in the rain, and that would bring with it all kinds of complications and would not be too advisable for reasons. And now Prism Cactus really rocking the boat, lots of money, lot of supply, and seems to have gotten itself supply blocked. So I don't know what's happening. Is there a pylon building? Oh yes, there is one pylon building at the time. That's pretty great. And wow. So it's constantly supply blocked because it doesn't plan any pylons, but this army is pretty good. We've got a shuttle in a reverb, we've got a couple of corsairs overhead, we've not got an observer, and that's a problem, but the army is so great and strong it doesn't really bother about one badly damaged lurker, so... Oh, and there's the observer, and that was the end of that. So, Prism Cactus rolling with a 110 supply army, all kinds of technology, and macro-wise, it's doing an okay job. And Gomboc is really struggling to stay in this game a little bit longer. The Corsairs are all over the Overlords. We've got Observer over here, Observer over there. That's what I like, and the Zealots are right in for that. Here comes another Observer, and Prism Cactus is really going to be a contender, one of the dragons, one of the big Protoss someday, and taking apart Garm like this might not look like that much of a feat, but the way in which it does it is quite impressive. So I say good game, and that was that really. So what have we more? No, I think I'll skip that, and now we'll show you what the problem is with the top bots at this moment. We've got Banana Brain as the Protoss in the top right, and Crazio in the top left as the Terran, starting out with a depot and a pylon over there, so no surprises again. And there we go, Crazio with the barracks. No surprises there as well. Then a bunker, which is good, but there you go. Couple of Marines, not in the oh god, that was wrong. The Zealots are coming in, and they are marching straight by the bunker, and then it's off to SCV land, and there is just not enough firepower to deal with all these Zealots, and one dies, one Marine's outside of the bunker, one is in there, all the SCVs are over here and defending, so lots of mining time lost. In the end, the Zealots will fall probably, but they're doing a hell of a lot of damage. And that's quite a good run by. So, Banana Brain doing quite well in that respect. And although the last Zealot is going to fall, Crazio has lost an incredible amount of mining time and some workers as well, some Marines. So I feel that Banana Brain did quite well in that early attempt. So there we go. Early stages of the game are gone, and now it's playing tag with the scouting SCV in the main of Protoss, while Crazio is sort of scrambling to get back into the game. The factory's done, the SCV count's still there. It's not as high as Crazio would have liked it to be, but there we go. The Zealots are running after the SCV, and oh, we've got a Goon, and the Goon might surely be doing something about that, but the Goon is going for the attack, and Crazio hasn't really established the wall again, so oh, that's a pity. But let's see how this new Protoss army is going to fare. Oh, and my girlfriend is back indoors. She's so very happy. She's been let in from the rain, and she's a bit cold, but she'll survive. And here comes another run by, but now there are more SCVs, so the Zealots do sort of get contained. And only the Goon and one Zealot make their way into the mineral line. But again, a lot of mining time lost for Crazio, and it really seems mandatory to have a war this time of year, with all the run-bys and stuff going on. Now Crazio setting up shop at the Natural, and Banana Brain taking the Natural for itself. So Banana Brain being a little bit ahead economically, and Crazio being a little bit down, so Banana Brain didn't get those early aggression attacks in for nothing. It was delayed itself, the Natural was late, and although it hurt Crazio quite a bit, that's it, the upgrades, we've got range, we've got siege mode, Crazio's got siege mode and a bunker at the Natural now, so looking good-ish, and Crazio has got 30 workers, so it's not in too bad of a position. The eBay gets wrecked by the goons, has to float back, and Banana Brain going for a lot of tech might take another base while Crazio is down licking its wounds and trying to defend somehow. We've got mines prepping, but with only one tank on the high ground, one bunker, a lot of damage might be done with another bit of pressure. And Banana Brain's out of touch. So Crazio now with one siege tank on the natural, but is that going to be enough? Here come the goons, and they're going to kill the barracks, and this tank is going to siege as well. We've got one more on the high ground, we've got more coming, but it's going to take a while for these forces to reach the battlefront, and this tank is going to be engaged right off the bat. It's being repaired, and all the SCVs are at the bunker, but it's more important to keep this tank alive. One tank in the rear, two goons trying for a run by, but nothing really happens because they get stuck on the SCVs and the tanks. And now with the Marines in the bunker and the tanks from the rear, oh, two more tanks just came right in time. That was pretty impressive. Banana Brain now going for a third, and the pitched battle is on. Crazio again not making a tight wall, could have built a depot here just to make the choke a little bit smaller. And although, oh, the mines are done now, so they are going to be at the expansions, which I like, because that way you can keep tabs on what the enemy's doing and reason with that information in mind. Crazio is going for the middle stages of the game. First bit of pressure has been, oh, and a turret as well, that's good. And the observer kills itself, that's sloppy. But can't be helped. Two zealots coming into two vultures coming in to try and kill this this base over here, but obviously that doesn't work like that. Banana Brain could have thrown up two cannons just to be sure. Oh, we've got a shuttle, so let's see what's going to be done with the shuttle. But Crazio's got things well in control now. It's got a handful of tanks, got a Wraith for air control, and vultures roaming the map. So for the time being, I don't think Crazio is all that dissatisfied with the progress in this match. There are going to be two cannons at the third, at the natural there are three, at the main there are two, so any kind of sneaky drop by Crazio will have to be executed perfectly to be able to do a lot of damage to the workers. And that's always a good thing to have. So this base already been found by two vultures. And the main Protoss army is a far way off, so that's going to take a while for them to find. And meanwhile, this Nexus over here is going to take a bit of damage, which is good. So Crazio starting the third, occupying it with a handful of vultures, and the tank count is steadily but surely growing. So if you look at the production tab, we've got a command center, science facility, lots of infrastructure. At this stage of the game, I think that both these factories... Oh no, this one's not producing anything. So the priority should be not to tech too hard, but to get some units going, because that's exactly what Protoss is doing. And Protoss has got 70 workers versus 50 of Crazio's. And this base, well, didn't really take all that much damage on the hit points itself. Just very, very minor. And that's 4 versus 2 bases, and of course... Oh well, no, let's say 3 versus 2 and worry about those other 2 bases once they get completed. So, yep, there we go. Crazio with a rather formidable army at this point. If we look at the upgrades, wow, that's Kyber and Tablet, that's the energy upgrade for High Templars, weapons upgrade, observer speed, observer range, leg speed, and Banana Brain has got quite a well upgraded army. And let's see how it's going to use that. So before the cannons are done, 2 vultures sneak in. Oh, 4 vultures sneak in. That's quite a massacre of probes. And where the worker count used to be about 80 is now about 60. And Banana Brain suffering a little bit in that regard. But that's already the 5th base it's setting up. And that will be 3 versus 5 bases. Crazio ought to be really, really careful about that. And the Wraiths are out hunting. Oh, and here comes the shuttle, and here come the High Templars, and they've got some goon cover. So that's going to be, I don't know what it's going to be, but a lot of forces suicide themselves on the mines. And Crazio, with the tank corps rolling up to the battlefront, is doing a lot of damage. Blue soup is imminent, but the goons are very wise and now they retreat, and I didn't really see what became of the shuttle. There was just so much going on, and I don't want to rewind every time I miss something, because I'm missing things all the time. Crazio starting a 4th base, and with the mine trail is going to be pressuring the natural choke. We've got an Arbiter, we've got a Reaver. Upgrade-wise, +2/+2 starting for Protoss, which is wise. But once the tank core occupies this bridge with the Gateway army, it's bloody hard to take. And now there are a lot of tanks on the other side, and although there are a lot of zealots, the tanks start blasting and the Reavers being prioritized. I think that's well. There is a science vessel. Oh, and look at the god! Oh, the Protoss army is taking a beating. Banana Brain is down to 90 supply, and still they keep coming. So that was a bit of a goo-glue, and Crazio can... well, Crazio ought to be very happy with that. Tank in an excellent position, commanding the high ground, the ramp, while not being... can't be targeted from down there, so that's pretty well done. And Banana Brain is suffering from, well, a very highly developed but not yet fully complete Protoss. That all the production is in the main. And Crazio is rolling up to the choke. So once these tanks unsiege and Crazio is able to take command of this area over here, the entire production with all the gateways is being contained, and that's an issue. So here comes a gateway right when I say that, and I think that you are going to need 4 gateways, because Banana Brain's got the money, but will need to make an army because it's got 20 versus 80 army supply, and Crazio's army is one that doesn't really like being trifled. So Wraith taking down the shuttle. Shuttle is staying there for reasons and falls. The storm is there. It looks like there is... Banana Brain is working on storm, but it's not ready yet. There are 6 Templar, but they're not doing anything. And Crazio is just sitting back behind the bridges, taking this command center, throwing up a couple of turrets, and that's always a good idea. And Banana Brain really... oh, and that's another gateway. That's pretty good, building more gateways outside of the main. But still the fact... oh, and that was a clutch EMP. All the High Templars, which I haven't seen storm yet, are... oh, and immediately they're going to be morphed into Archons. That's clever. But the fact remains that Protoss will have a devil of a job taking this fortified bridge. And Crazio is slowly but surely approaching max and staying there. So yeah, there you go. A couple of tanks getting killed. Crazio is taking the base by leapfrog, and that's going to be a huge problem for Protoss. Protoss cannot let this area be controlled by Crazio, and Crazio is also making its way round the back with a couple of tanks, not really pressuring the third, but just doing things slowly, meticulously, taking more base, and also Crazio is building production capacity outside of its main base. So, pretty well done, and here comes the unstoppable tank core of Crazio, and you are going to need very, very, very good play to stop an army like that, with the production capacity and with the economy behind that. 74 workers, factories galore, the natural is going to be run into the ground. Banana Brain's got some income still, it's got a lot of production, but it really hasn't got an answer to those siege tanks and the mines. And Crazio is just blanketing the map in buildings, in mines, in turrets. Every base gets its siege tank, its bunker, its 4 turrets. Wow, that's quite a lot. And of course a factory of its own. So Crazio is now over the main and blasted down the 3rd, simultaneously attacking the 4th, and once the 4th falls, the 5th will be gone in a jiffy. And Banana Brain's trying to transfer workers, but those workers are... well, they better unionize, because versus all these tanks it's not that much fun, is it? And Crazio is mopping the floor with the remnants of Banana Brain. Banana Brain, great early pressure, but then succumbed to Crazio once it let out the box. Oh, and Crazio, for good measure, just immediately taking this base, and that one as well. So, Water Monster, GG, and let's see what we've got here. So, for those of you who missed it, I must show you that, because Locutor's last update is from August 6th, and Banana Brains is from about yesterday, so, and Crazio day before that. Locutor's is struggling a bit, but still up there. It's basically Crazio, Locutor's, Banana Brain, Purple Wave, and then, well, it's not really like the rest. It's up until Ironbot, and then it's the rest. But Locutor's hasn't been updated in ages, and it's still in ages, in 1 month, almost 2. That's quite a long time, but you can see where it's going. Development of AIs is... Oh, great, that's absolutely spiffing. I thought for 1 second it was an in-base double proxy, but just a gas steal. But you can see the development of the bots. We've got this beautiful Zerg drop by Simplicity, and Banana Brain with all the Templars and the Shuttle and the Arbiters. And at that point, your bot really gets complex. But once you start pulling the strings on the Arbiter and Templar tech, it can be so very devastating. Storm drops, and although you saw Crazio's defenses last game are formidable, once you start doing storm drops, bombing tanks with zealots, things like that, it's only to be hoped that things like this really stop for some time, because I've been nearly doing this for 5 years, and it amused me a lot to see those scouting probes being chased by an entire army worth of zealots, and it's still happening. So that's pretty funny. Banana Brain going for a quicker natural command center, and the Locutor's is running up a small army, and all the zealots of Banana Brains are chasing the scouting probe. Haha! And there is still no thingy. Cybercore, there is no gas. And Locutor's is now being repelled by these zealots. But once the goons get out into the open, oh, this one gets pinned down and killed. Locutor's with the impeccable micro is taking down a lot of zealots, and that's pretty good. And still there is no Cybercore for Banana Brain. And Locutor's is now trying to make his way up the ramp. There are a lot of zealots though, so that's going to be a bit of an issue. But Locutor's with its impeccable micro demolishes a lot of the zealots, and there are still zealots running after the scouting probe, and that's just that's pretty sad. And well, I've been accused of not really appreciating these AIs and how difficult it is, but it's I do wish that I would be allowed to laugh at all the funny things they do. I laugh at myself as well if I play games, but so Locutor's is now all over this with the goons and tearing down the bases piece by piece. So goon micro wise, Locutor's is still a huge force, and you should not reckon without it. Looking for an update though. So right behind that is TSMU Random. And well, you've got the ELO rankings, and TSMU Random is 5th, and TSMU has received its last update in well, in July, and that wasn't a really major update anyway, so that's quite impressive as well. And I thought, well, let's have a game of TSMU Random here playing as Terran versus Halpan, and Halpan is based on Ironbot, but with a complex product like Ironbot, it's very hard to take it and improve upon it. It's really more like a matter of take it and not try to ruin it completely for the first couple of months or years or whatever. I've once seen someone complain on Facebook that he'd taken an open source copy of TSMU and found it very hard to understand the bot at all, and I understood from some people coding BrutWai that TSMU is one of the wackiest coded AIs there is, but it's also very, very impressive. And while Cherry Pie is in the AIIDE, there will not be Purple Wave and TSMU participating in that, because you can't have multiple entrants in one tournament. But with Dan Gant and TSMU, you've got two of the greatest BrutWai wizards on your side, and that's not even counting all the other guys which are doing the machine learning, and there might be some girls in there as well, I don't know. I don't know who's all part of the team. And Halpan is doing all the things right. It's starting siege mode, and TSMU is just bringing a little bit of pressure. And while there is not a siege tank, it's going to do a lot of damage, which will result in some mining time lost and some minor repair bills. Nothing major, and I think that there is going to be... oh, there is not going to be a tank all by Halpan yet. So that will pose a little bit of a problem. TSMU is just going to keep on hammering right at the door. Interesting minefield. Must be all kinds of double and triple mines. That's for another time, perhaps. And TSMU is one of the only bots still who knows what a wall is about and how you deal with it. It doesn't kill the workers, but it kills the wall itself. And even though the wall is lifted now, there we go. So TSMU going after the first siege tank of Halpan, bringing a second tank of its own, and straight into the worker line. And TSMU just rolling over Halpan, and that's quite impressive. Starting a natural at home, building placement, quite interesting, repairing of Vulture. And that really was the game, because there are no more workers for Halpan, and TSMU has got 2 siege tanks on top of everything. That's quite a game. Congratulations. Really hope to see Cherry Pie shine in AWIDE, and well, I'd love to hear more about what all the coders are doing individually in that project, but that's another story. So congratulations TSMU. And I thought, well, while we're at it, let's have a look at one of the other bots, which is consistently playing very well in all tournaments. Got second last year in our little tournament. And here we've got it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. And I thought, well, let's have a game of Killerbot and its author Marion Defecker against Banana Brain. Banana Brain starting with a pylon and Killerbot starting with an overlord. Nothing suspicious yet. Natural hatchery, 2 gates and another pylon. So it looks like it's going to be a little bit of pressure by Banana. And Killer is going to start with a little bit of scouting, and Banana is going to occupy... well, that's some really wacky micro right there. There's going to be a bit of a standoff between Zerglings and Zealots. There is a cyber core, so with a couple of goons, these Zerglings can't really threaten the Zerglings all that much. And I think that Killerbot will need to transition out of that, or just make a lot of Zerglings. And the Zerglings now run from the Zealots. The Zealots are being reinforced by 1 more Zealot. And it's going to be a lot of pressure. Oh no, there comes the Stargate. And the Natural. So, with 2 Sunkens and a handful of Zerglings, these Zealots have got to fight very hard, and they do just that. But the drone's coming off the line, and for some reason I do feel that this really wasn't worth it for Banana Brain. But Banana Brain sort of kept the pressure off its own base, and now it's got more workers, and it's got 2 gates and a starport and a natural up, and Killerbot really hasn't got the firepower to contest that at the moment. Has got 2 hatches now, and is trying to get into the mid game, but there is a lot of pressure from Banana Brain. We saw that earlier versus Crazio. Banana Brain is not going to sit still while you macro up, and Banana Brain's got more workers, got the natural up and running, immediately populated, and is after the Sunkens again, and with the Corsair menacing the Overlords. And immediately Killerbot is supply blocked, and quite badly. There are 2 Corsairs, there is no Spore to be seen. Even if this is going to be an Evo chamber, there are going to be so many Overlord kills. I really wonder if Killerbot is ever going to be unsupply blocked again this game. There is even a 3rd Corsair, and that's going to be... wow, that's going to be wicked. Behind that, Banana Brain is teching like a madman, still building Corsairs. I like that. Never stop doing what's working for you. And there we go, every time. And now there are officially 0 Overlords. Oh, there is 1, and immediately it gets attacked and shot down really fast. Killerbot has got a lot of gas, is building a lot of hatcheries. After all, you can get supply from hatcheries as well, but really ought to make an Evo chamber and spores. But, oh well, doesn't really matter. Enemy forces have entered the base and are killing your drones in the natural. Sunkens are quickly being thrown up, but by now there is just too much stuff in the natural, and that is, as they say, that. Only one base left, and Killer is being hammered straight into the ground. What a blast by Banana Brain. And that's quite something. So, this really was the last game of today's broadcast. Thank you all for tuning in once more. Thank you all for recommending the games. And a special shout out to any and all coders, even those who we saw defeated or their bots saw being defeated this day. Your games are so awesome, and especially one shout out to Simplicity, which bot is not so simple after all. The first bot on in Brute War AI, which does any kind of decent full large-scale drops. I like that very much. Keep them coming and keep on working. Hope to see you again next week. For now, I say goodbye.